Hi, my name is Lillian. I'm from Future Crunch. Now, today I'd like to talk about one key solution that can help organizations address the people, social, and economic crisis that the Australian community is facing as a result of the pandemic. COVID-19 is delivering all kinds of blows to our community. Now, the number of new cases and death rates are on the rise, especially in my home city, Melbourne, and this is unsettling for so many people. The Australian economy is experiencing unprecedented economic pressure that has resulted to businesses restructuring or closing down. The unemployment rate is on the increase, with the Australian Bureau of Statistics reporting that it's around 7%, the highest it's been in many years. For businesses that are fortunate enough to still be in operation, they have had to drastically change how they operate. And for many, this has meant moving to remote working. Experts have reported that this pandemic is increasing inequalities for groups that are already facing significant disadvantages, like women, the Indigenous population, people with disability, culturally diverse individuals, and the LGBTQI community. And just when we think that things cannot get any worse, the lockdowns and the enforced isolation is causing what many people are referring to as the silent pandemic, which includes a spike in gender-based violence that the United Nations Association predicted would occur in this time. There's also been mental health ramifications reported by experts like the Black Dog Institute, and an increase in substance abuse reported by the Alcohol, Drug Foundation. Now, if these are the immediate and known effects, then the long-term effects are even more concerning. In the midst of the pandemic, there's also been a very loud and strong call to action to end systematic racism in Australia. This united call to action has been amplified by the Black Lives Matter movement after the death of George Floyd caused by police brutality in America. Now, here in Australia, many of us are impacted directly by institutionalized racism. The entire premise of power continues to be questioned, and there are more bold demands being made to end racism by a much wider group of Australians. Now, as an African Australian, it's encouraging to see more people unified to put a stop to racism. However, I am aware that dismantling systematic racism is a long game that requires consistent and collective action. In the meantime, I'm wary. I'm wary about experiencing even more inequality by virtue of being a woman of color and belonging to the marginalized population. Now, the current situation has got me thinking about other people's experiences and how they're being affected by what feels like dark times. It has prompted questions like, how can organizations provide light to its people in these times? In particular, how can they address the people, social, and economic crisis faced by Australians in this pandemic? I believe that there is one key solution. It is for organizations to ramp up the diversity and inclusion efforts. Harvard Business Review published a report with a very strong message that organizations need to revise their diversity and inclusion efforts to the reality of the pandemic. This requires an adjustment that goes beyond the traditional approach to develop diversity and inclusion strategies that focuses on the real issues at hand. I believe that the same approach needs to be applied to address the issue of systematic racism. Now, in the same report, Harvard Business Review reported that many organizations are actually choosing to cancel or postpone their diversity and inclusion initiatives as they're considered non-essential services during this pandemic. I believe now more than ever, businesses need to do the exact opposite. The nature of diversity and inclusion work needs to evolve and ramp up to address the issues and the crisis that we face. This is an opportune time for businesses to work closely with diversity and inclusion practitioners to understand the new ways of working and the unique and diverse experiences of its people. These insights need to be used to shape or reshape the diversity and inclusion strategy that will guarantee that they're relevant, current, and fit for purpose. This approach will ensure that organizations look after their most important asset, which is their people, whilst weathering this storm. Now, the change to your strategy will also ensure that your business is positioned to still enjoy the benefits that diversity and inclusion offers, like improved staff health and well-being, staff retention and attraction, profitability, productivity, and performance. So my question to you is your organization's diversity and inclusion approach relevant, current, and fit for purpose? Is your strategy currently addressing the people, economic, and social crisis that we are currently facing? Is your strategy delivering the benefits that are on offer for your organization and your people with regards to diversity and inclusion? Thank you.